All right, Shalom. Kahalo Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to you, sincere brothers of the Hope for Elect, pushing this gospel in sincerity and in truth. This is just going to be another World War III update, or drums of war. Basically, the U.S. is bracing or contemplating a full military strike against North Korea. My favorite news source. Go to yournewswire.com, and it's basically explaining how North Korea, they just uh, had a missile test where they fired off 4 ballistic missiles, which 3 of them ended up landing in Japan, not too far from U.S. Military bases in Japan. So basically, that region is under high alert right now. All right. So going into the article, it says the U.S. military are preparing for a full military strike against North Korea in a move designed to wipe out Kim Jong-un's full nuclear arsenal. The announcement comes after North Korea threatened to strike U.S. bases in Japan, firing 3 of its 4 missiles dangerously close to the U.S. ally. President Trump has warned that Pyongyang will suffer very dire consequences for its actions as a result, according to a White House statement. Yeah, because 3 of those missiles supposedly landed upon restricted grounds. That was grounds of the Japanese, which are allied with, the U.S. And they happen to be not too far from the U.S. military bases over there. So now their response to that is, well, we're going to have to focus on trying to provoke a preeminent strike upon their nuclear arsenals to prevent them, from the nuclear threat. So, this could escalate, man. And we know the Heavenly Father is in charge of this all. The kings of the nations are in the hands of the Heavenly Father. All right. And then we also got to understand that Iran is also another target for Washington. And both North Korea and Iran are under the guard of Russia. So what is this leading to? Hey, World War III is going to escalate. All right. Russia and the U.S. has to go toe to toe because that's biblical prophecy. All right. And it's according to prophecy, Russia is going to destroy America with thermonuclear destruction. And he's going to also lead the charge for these other allied nations of Russia to also shoot off their nuclear missiles upon the U.S. All right. So, everything is building up to that point. But, you got other major prophecies that have to be fulfilled as well, leading up to that. All right. Because in America, is also prophesied that you're going to have, an economic collapse, where they're going to institute the mark of the beast, which is, the RFID technology, the system, where you're going to have to get implanted with, microchips or RFID chips. All right. You're going to have, civil wars, race wars, which is, the ultimate showdown between Jacob and Esau. And you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you descend from Jacob, and the so-called white man descends from Esau. All right. And it's no coincidence that, racial tension is at its height, since slavery, I'm talking about the physical slavery. All right. Trump wants to actually return that particular era. That's what he means by make America great again. But all these things has to lead up to that point before the Lord finally bring judgment upon the U.S., which is Babylon the Great in the Bible. All right. The Lord told us that, there are going to be wars and rumors of wars before his second coming. And we're actually in the beginning stages of that. All right. So I'm going to read a little more, and then I'm going to go to the next article, and wrap it up with a few scriptures. It says, Business Insider spoke with Stratform Simtak, a senior analyst and an expert on North Korea, to determine exactly how the U.S. could potentially carry out a crippling strike against the Hermit Kingdom. Yeah, because of that, they have that nuclear capability. So that's a threat, just like Iran is a threat because they all hold those nuclear capabilities. You know, basically, the U.S. only wants not only themselves but their allies that hold that capability. You know, or else anybody that's holding it that doesn't have an alliance or an agreement with them is a possible threat. You know. It says first, a decision would need to be made. Military action against North Korea wouldn't be pretty. Some number of civilians in South Korea, possibly Japan, and U.S. forces stationed in the Pacific would be likely to die in the undertaking, no matter how smoothly things went. In short, it's not a decision any U.S. commander-in-chief would make lightly. Yeah, whatever decision they go with, either way, it's gonna get bloody. It's gonna be a disaster, man. A lot. It's gonna cause you know millions in casualties. All right, because we ain't talking about the atomic bomb here that that detonated during the time of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All right, no, we talking about a nuclear missile going off, man. That's a lot more deadlier than the atomic bomb. Okay, so that would destroy a lot of people on those islands over there in that peninsula. Um, parts of East Asia would get wiped out, and then you have all them islands on the Pacific, man. Tsunamis, it would cause all that, man. So this thing would definitely go. It would go. It would be devastating, man. All right. It says It says in short, it's not a decision any U.S. commander in chief would make lightly, but the U.S. would have to choose between a full-scale destruction of North Korea's nuclear facilities and ground forces, or a quicker attack on only the most important nuclear facilities. The second option would focus more on crippling North Korea's nuclear program and destroying key threats to the U.S. and its allies. Hey, and it's the same consideration that they have towards Iran, which is why they're working cahoots with Israel to try to stop that nuclear deal with Iran, but it's not going to work. You know, this is all of the Heavenly Father's program. Right? All those nuclear arsenals, and all those nuclear missiles are all going to be prepared for the Battle of Armageddon. All right. So that's what's going to happen, man. All right. I'll read this part right here, and I'm gonna go to the next article and bring a few scriptures. It says, since a full-scale attack could lead to a mission creep that could pull the U.S. into a long-term conflict in East Asia, according to attack, we'll focus on a quick surgical strike that will wipe out the bulk of North Korea's nuclear forces. So their thing is to prevent it, to try to attack their nuclear arsenal, to prevent them from ever trying to go nuclear in an attack against another country. All right. And this is from the Washington Post. North Korea says it was practicing to hit U.S. military bases in Japan with missiles. You see that? And this is going battle between the two. It's been happening for a while. But North Korea is a small nation. They don't have the balls to just go and prevail with a nuclear attack on a U.S. Military ally. If they're going to just be alone, because them alone are not strong enough to fight the U.S. military. All right, North Korea is going to need its allies to help fight that war. Okay, so really, North Korea just be trying to call, the U.S.'s bluff, but they're small, they're little guys. They're waiting on Russia, first and foremost, to attack first. You know, they're waiting on their allies to really attack first. But what they're going to do is continue to, um, you know, swing at the air, so to speak, shadow box, and to try to intimidate or show the U.S. that they're able to hang with the U.S. in this oncoming battle. All right, but they're not stupid, you know. But let me I'll read a little bit of this, and I'm gonna go into a few scriptures and close out. Um, it says North Korea was practicing to strike U.S. states' military bases, and Japan with its largest barrage of missiles. State media in Pyongyang reported Tuesday, and it appeared to be trying to outsmart a new American anti-missile battery being deployed to South Korea by firing multiple rockets at once. Kim Jong-un presided over Monday's launch of the four missiles, feasting his eyes on the trails of ballistic rockets. The state-run Korean Central News Agency reported in a statement that analysis called a brazen declaration of the country's intent to strike enemies with a nuclear weapon if it came under attack. All right, so the Most High is stirring this up because he wants this to happen, and ultimately it will. All right, Russia is going to lead the charge. All these missile tests and all these rockets being fired, it's all a test to flex their nuclear technology so they could prepare for this nuclear war that's going to take place. All right, that's what all this is about, man. Everybody being strategic, getting their soldiers in line. Everybody, testing out their toys, their weapons. That's basically what it's all transpiring to, man. Nuclear and military exercises before the final showdown or final battle. All right, of the Battle of Armageddon. All right, so I'm gonna post these two in the description box. This is out of the scriptures, the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 6. It says, "And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows." And right now we're in the beginning of sorrows. All right, so these things are all being fulfilled as we speak. Okay. Revelation 11 and 14, the second woe is past. All right, which is talking about World War II. All right. And behold, the third woe, or the third war, cometh quickly. And you see it escalating, man. Just keep watching and look, and keep lurking the these news sites. And I ain't talking about Fox News and CNN and ABC. No, that's the avenue for fake news. No, I'm talking about alternative news. The very same news that your local news is telling you is propaganda and fake news. All right. No, alternative news is keeping tabs on what's really going on. All right. So yeah, the third war is coming quickly. Okay. This is Second Ezra chapter 16, and I'm gonna start at 18. It says the beginning of sorrows, which we just read about in Matthew the 24th chapter, and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and a power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these things shall come? And no matter how many peace talks, they have, during the UN, those UN Security Councils, those GN, those G20 summits, no matter how many times Putin tries to improve relations with Russia, that's not going to happen. Okay, Russia is going to go to war with the U.S. and Russia has its allies, Iran, North Korea, China. All right, they're on the opposing end. All right, and as far as the U.S., the allies that the U.S. has, they're going to turn on the U.S. All right, and just watch for it. All right, the EU is going to slowly but surely start turning away from the United States, man. All right, that's why they're breaking up now. That union is breaking up. Now they all want to exit out of that union. All right, so that's the update. You know, pray as well as fast if you need to. All right, we almost out of this thing. Brothers, keep being diligent. You sincere brothers out there, pushing the gospel and going out there on the highways and hedges. You know, be diligent. All right. You know, um, hey, this is it, man. Yahweh Shai is on his way back. All right, so we gotta get ready for his coming, man. Pray that we are able to stand, before the Son of Man. All right, so that's my take on that. Hopefully this was edifying. Until the next time I say shalom.